The solicitor stopped mid-sentence when I slid my pale blue folder across the table. My sister, Sienna Renwick, sat back with her arms crossed, like she had already won. My mum, Paula Renwick, kept twisting her ring and staring at the carpet. Outside the window, rain tapped the glass in slow beats, like it was counting down. "Lena," Sienna said, loud enough for the receptionist to hear, "you can stop pretending. You never had real savings. You just want my room because you are jealous." I did not raise my voice. I looked at the solicitor, Mr. Callum Hart, a careful man with a neat grey beard and tired eyes. "Please open the folder," I said. "Start with the page that says timeline." Sienna's smile flickered, but she still looked sure of herself. "Before you judge me, let me tell you who I am and how we got here. My name is Lena Renwick. I am 28 years old, and I live in Bristol, in the United Kingdom. I work as a payroll assistant at a ferry company near the harbour. It is not a big job, but it taught me one big rule. Numbers do not lie, even when people do." Sienna is 31. She calls herself a lifestyle coach online. She posts videos in bright dresses, sipping coffee in places she cannot afford, talking about knowing your worth. She is good at words. She is also good at taking things and acting like they were always hers. Mum is 56. She's a hospital porter, strong in her body and soft in her heart. She hates conflict so much that she will give away her own comfort just to keep the peace for one more day. Our dad, Graham Rennick, died 3 years ago from a fast cancer that gave us almost no warning. The day after the funeral, Mum stood in the kitchen and said, "We will stay together. We will heal together." I believed her. I did not know that together would soon mean whatever Sienna wants. After Dad died, I got serious about saving. I set a goal, £60,000 in 5 years for a small flat deposit. I stopped eating out. I sold my old camera. I walked to work when it was not freezing. I took extra shifts that started at 5 in the morning. I tracked every pound in a simple spreadsheet on my phone. I kept my money in a savings account at Haywood Bank on Park Street. I liked the place because the staff knew me and because it felt safe. I never flashed my card. I never spoke about balances at home. In our family, money never stays private for long. I should have listened to my own rule. Sienna came back to Bristol last spring. She had been living in London with her boyfriend, Kieran Mott, 34, a junior property broker, who wore sharp suits and spoke like he was doing you a favour by breathing. When their relationship broke, she arrived at our front door with 2 huge suitcases and a cracked phone. "I just need a few weeks," she said, eyes wet, voice soft. "Mum, please." Mum folded. She always folds for Sienna. She told me to move my things out of my room and into the small box room at the back, because Sienna needed space to recover. My room was the only place in the house that still felt like mine. It was where I studied for my payroll course. It was where I cried after Dad's chemo days. It had my desk, my shelves, my little safe box. It was not about size. It was about being seen. Sienna took it anyway. The first night in the box room, I heard her laughing on a video call. "I'm back in my childhood suite," she said, like she was in a hotel. Small town vibe, so cute. I lay awake with my hands clenched under the duvet and tried to tell myself it was temporary. A week later, my savings disappeared. It happened on a Monday. I know because I always check my banking app on Mondays before work. The balance loaded, and my stomach dropped so hard I thought I might faint. £37,420. Gone. Not spent in small bits. Not moved to another savings pocket. Gone in one transfer. At first, I thought the app had crashed. I refreshed. Same result. I logged in again. Same result. Then I saw the transaction line. Transfer to Renwick Joint Current. Joint Current. That account was an old family account Mum opened years ago when Sienna and I were teenagers. It was meant for groceries and bills. We barely used it now. I never linked it to my savings, unless someone else did. On my lunch break, I called Haywood Bank. My hands shook so badly, I could not hold the phone steady. The call agent spoke in a calm, flat voice, like nothing in the world could ever surprise her. We can see the transfer, she said. It was authorized with your online banking details. That's not possible, I said. I did not do it. Then your credentials may have been compromised, she replied. We recommend you change your password right away. I went into the staff loo, locked the door, and changed my password with my back against the cold tile wall. When I looked at my own face in the mirror, it looked pale and older. I knew two things at once. Someone had taken my money, and the person lived in my house. On the bus home, I replayed every small moment from the past week. Sienna hovering near Mum's desk drawer. Sienna asking, sweetly, if I still used that old bank app. Mum telling me, don't be secretive. Love, we're family. By the time I reached our street, my fear had turned into focus right now. Quick check-in. Are you enjoying this story so far? If you like suspense stories where the truth hits hard, tell me what you think about my channel, TrueVenge Chronicles. Comment where you are watching from. And please subscribe so you do not miss part 2 and the big reveal. That evening, I walked into the kitchen and said it plain. My savings are gone. Mum's face tightened. What do you mean, gone? 37,000. It got moved to the joint account. Sienna sat at the table scrolling her phone. She did not even pretend to be shocked. Oh, she said. I moved it. My ears rang. You stole it. I needed it, she said. London was expensive. And you live here. You owe the house. Mum's eyes filled. Sienna, did you take it without asking? Sienna sighed. Mum, please. It's family money. Dad would want us to help each other. Dad wanted me to have a future, I said. Sienna's smile turned sharp. You always act like you're the only one who suffered. I asked. How did you even access my savings? Mum whispered. I gave her the little code card from the drawer. She said she was helping. Sienna lifted her hands. See? Mum agreed. Prove I did anything wrong. Then she walked to the hallway, opened my old bedroom door, and shut it again like a warning. I did not scream. I went to my box room, opened my laptop, and started building proof the way I build payroll reports. I downloaded my bank statement and saved it in 2 places. I wrote a clean timeline of dates, times, and who was home. I filed a fraud report and asked Halewood Bank for the device log, the record of which phone made the transfer. The bank rep said it could take 10 working days. I told her I would wait, but I would not go quiet. The next day, I bought a small door camera for my box room. I aimed it at my door and told myself it was for safety. 2 days later, Sienna proved I was right to do it. I came home, and my small safe box was missing. It held my passport and my payslips. Mum said she had not seen it. Sienna laughed and said I was messy. That night, I checked the camera app. At 2:14 p.m., Sienna walked into my room and covered the camera with her hand. Motion had already saved a clip. I watched her carry my safe box out like it weighed nothing. I saved the clip and stayed calm. That weekend, Sienna brought home Kieran Mott again, acting like he was a trophy. He wore a sharp coat and looked at me like I was a stain. So, you're the little sister, he said. Still living at home. I'm saving for a flat, I answered. He smirked. With what savings? Sienna's eyes glittered. Oh, she had some. Past tense. Mum tried to stop it. Sienna? Enough. Kieran laughed. Money is wasted on people who don't know how to use it. To Ketmond, I held my face still. Inside, a plan took shape. A plan turns anger into steps. That night, I called my friend from work, Imogen Vale, 29, my payroll supervisor, and the one person who never mocked me for being careful. I told her everything. You need a witness, Imogen said. And you need the bank's fraud team. I'm waiting on the device log, I said. Good, she replied. Also, stop arguing in the kitchen. If they know you're collecting proof, they'll change tactics. She was right. 2 nights later, I went downstairs for water and heard voices in the kitchen. I stopped on the stairs when I heard my name. You need to sign, Sienna said. Her voice was sweet, but hard underneath. It's just to let me handle the accounts while you rest. Mum sounded tired. But it says power of attorney. It's normal, Sienna said fast. Lena won't understand. Just sign. I pulled my phone out and hit record. Mum hesitated. Should we ask Lena? Sienna's voice sharpened. No, she'll ruin it. Dad is gone. This is my chance. My chance. Not Mum's. Hers. I recorded until the tap turned on and Sienna laughed. The next morning, the bank emailed the device log. One line made my breath catch. The transfer was made from a phone ID that did not match mine. The login location was not our house. It was a cafe, near the harbour side, called Copper Finch. The timestamp matched the morning Sienna said she was going for a walk. I printed the log and the map pin. I printed my fraud report number. I saved the camera clip and the audio recording. I built my folder like a case file. Then I checked Dad's paperwork. Dad kept everything in a brown envelope in the bottom kitchen drawer. When I opened it, the envelope felt wrong. It was thinner than it should have been. The updated deed to the house was missing, the one Dad mentioned 2 weeks before he died. He had told me, I fixed it, Len. No one can push you out if I'm not here. Mum said she had never seen an update. Sienna said Dad never talked to her about it, but Dad had talked to me. I called Mr. Callum Hart, the solicitor whose name was on Dad's old will papers. His assistant booked me for Thursday and told me to bring Mum and Sienna if the dispute involved the property. I told Mum we had a meeting about sorting Dad's papers. She agreed because she still hoped papers could solve feelings. Sienna agreed because she thought papers would prove she was in charge. On Thursday, we sat in Mr. Hart's office. Mum wore her best coat. Sienna wore a cream blazer and glossy lipstick, ready to win. Mr. Hart asked why we were there. Sienna spoke first. My sister is being difficult. She refuses to support the household, and she keeps accusing me of stealing. Mr. Hart looked at me. Is that true? I kept my voice calm. No. She took my room, and she moved my savings. She also tried to get Mum to sign power of attorney. Without advice. Sienna snorted. Lies, Mum whispered. Lena, please. I slid the pale blue folder across the table. That is the moment you heard at the start. The moment the solicitor stopped mid-sentence. He opened it and read my timeline. Then he turned to the device log and the map pin for Copper Finch. Sienna's foot started tapping. Her confidence leaked out through small movements. Mr. Hart lifted his gaze. Mrs. Renwick, did you authorize your daughter Sienna to access Lena's savings account? Mum's lips trembled. I thought it was a transfer between accounts. I didn't understand. I too. And did you sign any papers about power of attorney? He asked. Mum shook her head. No. Sienna sat forward. Lena hacks systems for her job. She's framing me. Mr. Hart's eyes narrowed. Payroll is not hacking, Miss Renwick. Sienna's cheeks flushed. I can't even log into my old email. I couldn't do this. I stayed still. Calm wins. Mr. Hart held up a hand. Enough. Lena, if this log is correct, it becomes a criminal matter. Are you prepared to take it further? Sienna leaned closer to Mum, her voice soft enough to sound caring, but I saw the control in it. Mum, you don't need this stress, she said. Let me handle it. Lena is spiraling. Mum looked trapped between us. Her shoulders sagged, the way they did when Dad was sick, and bills piled up. Mr. Hart watched the three of us, measuring who was telling the truth. He asked for the bank's fraud reference number, so I gave it. He asked for the video clip timestamp, so I gave it. Sienna's eyes darted to my folder, like it might bite her. Then she did something small that felt huge. She pulled her phone out and typed fast, thumb moving. I caught a glimpse of the screen, before she turned it away. It was an email draft with a subject line, Urgent, Elder Financial Abuse. My pulse jumped. She was not just defending herself. She was attacking first. That is when I realized Sienna was willing to burn me down and use Mum as the match, just to keep her story clean. I opened my mouth to answer, and then my phone buzzed with a call from Halewood Bank. The screen showed a name I did not recognize. Sophia Noor. Compliance. I answered, and a firm voice said, Miss Renwick, you need to come to the bank right now. Someone has just filed a report claiming you stole funds from a vulnerable adult. Your mother's name is on it. Mum gasped. Sienna smiled again. Mr. Hart quietly closed my folder, like he was bracing for what came next. Part 2. Sienna's smile stayed on her face, while my mum's went empty with fear. Mr. Hart's office felt smaller, like the air had been squeezed. Mum, I whispered. She's flipping it. If she makes me look like the thief, she buys time. Mr. Hart stood up. We go to the bank, he said. No arguing outside. We follow procedure. Procedure is fine, Sienna said. I have nothing to hide. We stepped into the rain. Mum held her bag to her chest. Sienna walked close to her, almost protective, like she was the good daughter in a photo. Outside, Kieran Mott waited by a black car, chin up, eyes flat. What's this? He asked. She's accusing me, Sienna said. Now the bank is calling her in for fraud. Kieran looked at me. You don't know when to stop. Mr. Hart moved between us. Hailwood Bank. Now. At the bank, the lobby was bright and too quiet. The kind of quiet that means everyone is listening. A receptionist stood. Miss Renwick? Please wait. We sat. Mum's knee bounced. Sienna scrolled her phone, calm as a cat. Kieran stood with his arms crossed near the door. While we waited, Sienna leaned close to Mum and whispered, Just tell them you were confused. Tell them. Lena gets intense. Mum's eyes flicked to me, then away. She looked like she wanted to melt into her coat. Mr. Hart opened his notebook and wrote short notes, calm. I watched his pen. It moved in steady strokes, like it trusted the truth to show up. Kieran stood behind our chairs and sighed, like our problem was a bad smell. I could feel the word fraud hanging over my head like a sign, even though I had done nothing wrong. Across the lobby, a teller I recognized, Mara Quill, glanced at me from behind her screen. She had handled my deposits before and always asked about my day. I wanted to tell her, I am not here to steal. I am here to stop theft. But I stayed quiet. In places like this, the first person who talks too much can sound guilty. My phone buzzed with a message from Imogen Vale. I'm outside, it said. Want me in? Imogen is my supervisor at work. I typed back. Stay close. I may need a witness. Then I turned my phone face down. Sienna's phone buzzed too. She smiled at the screen and typed fast. I caught one line before she tilted it away. Yes. Submit it. My skin went cold. She had planned this report like a trap. She was not reacting. She was steering. Mum rubbed her temples. Lena, why would she do this? She whispered. I kept my voice gentle. Because if I look guilty, she keeps the money longer. And if you look weak, she speaks for you. Mum swallowed hard. I didn't mean to give her your codes. I thought I was helping. I know, I said. That's why I wrote everything down. So fear cannot bury facts. Sienna heard us and smiled wider. Oh, she said. Listen to her. Always so dramatic. I met her eyes and said nothing. Calm is not weakness. It is control. A woman in a navy suit came out and called my name. Sophia Noor, 42, the branch compliance officer. Her hair was tied back tight. Her eyes were sharp, but not cruel. Come with me, she said. Her office was small and plain. She opened a file. This morning, a report was filed, claiming Lena Renwick pressured her mother into transferring funds. Mum's mouth fell open. I never said that. Sienna sighed softly. Mum, you were upset. I was worried. Sophia looked at Mum. Did you file this report? Mum shook her head hard. No. Sienna's voice got sweeter. Mum forgets things when she's stressed. That was when I saw it clearly. Sienna was not just stealing money. She was stealing Mum's voice. Sophia turned to me. Lena, you filed a fraud report about a transfer from your savings account, correct? Yes, I said. I have the reference number and the device log. Sophia nodded. Our records show your savings account was accessed from a device not linked to you. The transfer went into a joint current account. Sienna's foot started tapping under the chair. She stopped it fast. Sophia folded her hands. Because there are competing claims, we froze the joint account this morning. No money leaves it until we confirm what happened. Mum let out a shaky breath. Sienna's eyes flashed before she covered it with a smile. Kieran stepped forward. Freezing an account over a family argument is extreme. Safia did not blink. Mr. Mott, you are not a client on these accounts. Sit down or leave. He flushed and sat. Safia turned back to me. Do you have evidence beyond your own statement? I opened my folder and started with the timeline. Safia read, in silence. She reached the page with the cafe location. Her eyebrows lifted. Copper Finch, she said. The login location. Yes, I said. Sienna goes there. Sienna laughed too loud. So my coffee shop proves I'm a thief? Safia's voice stayed flat. Do you deny you were there that morning? Sienna blinked. I don't remember. I slid forward a printout of her social post, with the cafe sign behind her, timestamped at 6:20 a.m., 8 minutes after the transfer. Safia stared at it, then looked at Sienna. Mum's hand flew to her lips. Sienna. Kieran leaned in. That could be edited. Safia held up a hand. We will verify. Continue. Next. I showed the camera stills of Sienna, covering the lens, and carrying my safe box. Sienna's shoulders stiffened. Then I placed the last piece on the desk, the transcript of the kitchen recording. I looked at Mum. I recorded it because I was scared. Not to hurt you. To protect us. Mum nodded through tears. Safia pressed play, and Sienna's voice filled the small office. If you are still with me, thank you. Are you enjoying part 2? What do you think about TrueVenge Chronicles? Comment where you are watching from. And please subscribe so you never miss these twists. Tell me if you want more stories like this, every day, right here on TrueVenge. Safia pressed play, and my own recording filled the room. We heard Mum's tired voice, then Sienna's sweet voice, then the line that cut through everything. Dad is gone. This is my chance. When it ended, Sienna let out a small laugh. Out of context, she said. Safia looked at Mum. Mrs. Renwick, did she ask you to sign power of attorney? Mum's shoulders dropped. Yes, she whispered. She did. Sienna snapped. Mum, you're stressed. You forget things. Mum lifted her head. No, she said, shaky but clear. I was not confused. I was scared. Kieran leaned forward. This is a family mess. You can't treat it like a crime. Safia finally looked at him. I'm treating it like risk, she said. And the risk is real. She turned to me. Lena, do you consent to us sharing this evidence with police if needed? Yes, I said. I want it done properly. Safia opened her door and called for the branch manager. Ruth Penhaligon came in. Silver hair, steady eyes, and one look at the paperwork made her face lose colour. Safia spoke fast. Unauthorized access. Device mismatch. Transfer into joint account. False report. Using Mrs. Renwick's name. Ruth swallowed. Amount? 37,420, Safia said. Sienna tried to smile. It was family money. Ruth shook her head. Family doesn't override consent. Safia turned her screen so I could see. The joint account has 31,000 left, she said. That means money moved out before we froze it. Mum whispered. Where did it go? Safia clicked once. A transfer to an account ending 8,841. Sienna answered too fast. That's mine. Mum told me to move it so Lena wouldn't waste it. Mum's face crumpled. I never told you that. Safia's tone stayed flat. So you admit you moved funds into your personal account? As an is to me. Sienna froze, then tried again. I was protecting Mum. Ruth picked up the desk phone. Safia, call police. Sienna stood up. This is insane. I'm her sister. Ruth's voice turned cold. That's why it's worse. Kieran stepped closer to me and hissed. You're ruining your family for money. I met his eyes. No. They tried to ruin me for money. Safia spoke without raising her voice. If anyone threatens anyone in this room, security will remove them. Kieran stepped back. 2 officers arrived soon after. The taller one introduced herself as Officer Rowan Fitch. She listened while Safia explained the device log, the cafe location, the the social post timestamp, the camera clip, and the audio. Officer Fitch looked at Mum. "Did you file the report that claims Lena stole from you?" Mum shook her head. "No. I didn't even know." Officer Fitch turned to Sienna. "Did you access your sister's savings account?" Sienna said, "No." Officer Fitch nodded once. "Then you won't mind us reviewing bank logs and device data. Until we do, you need to come with us for questions." Sienna's face went white. "You can't. I have clients." Officer Fitch stayed calm. "You have an investigation." Kieran tried to stand in front of Sienna, but a security guard appeared at the door. Not rough, just firm. Sienna looked at Mum, waiting for rescue. Mum did not move. Mum's voice broke, then rose. "You stole from your sister," she said, "and you used me to do it." Sienna blinked like she had been slapped. She turned to me. "Lena, please, don't do this." I kept my voice soft. "You did this when you took my savings and my room. I'm just ending it." Officer Fitch guided Sienna out. Kieran followed, jaw tight, saying nothing. We walked into the lobby behind them, because Officer Fitch needed space to take Sienna's details. The whole bank seemed to pause. People in line went silent. Mara Quill, the teller, met my eyes for a second. Her shoulders dropped, like she finally understood I had not come to steal. She gave me a small, sorry nod. Sienna tried to keep her chin high. "This is a misunderstanding," she announced, like the lobby was her audience. "My sister is unstable." Officer Fitch stayed calm. "Miss Renwick, lower your voice." Kieran stepped in fast and forced a smile. "Family stress," he said. "It happens." But his hands were shaking. Sienna reached for Mum's arm. "Tell them," she pleaded. "Tell them you wanted me to handle it." Mum pulled her arm back. For once, Mum chose herself. "No," she said. One word, but it landed like a door locking. Sienna blinked, shocked. She had built her life on Mum folding. Officer Fitch asked Sienna to hand over her phone for review. Sienna refused, then saw the officer's steady stare and changed her mind. She shoved it forward. A message preview flashed on the screen before the officer turned it over. "Move it today. Don't wait." Kieran's face went tight. He leaned towards Sienna and whispered, "What did you do?" Sienna snapped, "Shut up." Officer Fitch guided her toward the doors. Sienna's heels clicked across the marble, the same proud sound she used when she took my room. Only now, it sounded thin. Mum exhaled and sat down on a bench, shaking. Mr. Hart stood beside her, quiet. Sophia watched me like she was waiting for my next move. As they left, I felt my stomach unclench for the first time in weeks. Not because Sienna was in trouble, but because the truth had finally stepped into the light. When the door shut, Mum started crying, deep and quiet. "I wanted peace," she whispered. "So I fed the wrong person." I squeezed her hand. "Peace without respect is just silence." Mr. Hart leaned in. "About the house," he said. "I can pull the land registry record today. If your father filed an update, it will show." That afternoon, he emailed the extract. Dad had placed the house into a trust. Mum had the right to live there, but I was the main beneficiary. There was a condition too. If anyone pressured Mum into signing control away, the trustee could step in and remove the pressure source. Dad had protected us with paper, because he knew words were not enough. 2 weeks later, Halewood Bank returned the $31,000 still frozen. A recovery case started for the rest. Officer Fitch called to say Sienna had been charged with fraud and identity misuse. Kieran's firm reviewed him too, because his name appeared on a message thread about moving money fast. After that, he left Bristol. Sienna was not allowed back in our house during the case. My room became my room again. I scrubbed the walls, fixed the drawer, and put Dad's photo back on the shelf. Mum started practicing one new sentence in the mirror. No. I also stopped letting this stay only in our house. With Imogen's help, I started free workshops at the local library. Ledger nights. We taught people how to lock accounts, how to track savings, and how to document pressure. Sophia even came once and explained bank safety in plain language. One teen stayed behind and said, "My brother takes my wages. I thought it was normal." I handed him a simple checklist and said, "Normal is not always right. Start with one date, one record, one screenshot." That is what Sienna never understood. She thought my quietness was weakness. She thought my notes were pointless. But my documentation was my power. Once the truth had a trail, it could not be laughed away. Lesson 1. Keep your money access private. Do not share passwords, code cards, or phone pins, even with family. If someone insists, set up a trusted contact at the bank instead. One draw mistake can become a full account drain before you even wake up and make you look guilty. Lesson 2. Document before you confront. Save statements, screenshots, dates, and device logs. Record threats when it is legal, and keep files backed up. Calm facts beat loud stories. When you walk into a bank, a solicitor, or a workplace with proof, your voice becomes stronger and lies fall apart. Lesson 3. Protectors matter more than popularity. Choose one clear ally, like a compliance officer, a solicitor, or a trusted friend, and follow their process. Set boundaries early, even if people call you selfish. Peace built on silence is not peace. It is control. Peace needs respect and clear rules. What would you have done in my place? And what would you tell Mum to do next? Do you think I was right to record and report? Or should I have handled it quietly? Share your view in the comments. And try one lesson this week in your own life. Thank you so much for being here and supporting me. I truly appreciate every like, every comment, and every subscribe. It means more than you know, and it motivates me to keep bringing you stronger, more emotional, and more satisfying stories. If you already subscribed, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Please keep taking an interest in the channel, keep coming back, and keep sharing your thoughts with me in the comments. And if you're watching this channel for the first time, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Also, make sure you check out a new video on the channel right now. There are more powerful stories waiting for you. Goodbye.